back again like I never left. Had to take a breath cause Jacob been fucking with me hardcore.
Oh, goddamn.
Yo, what up? What up, everybody? We're back with a whole new pod.
A whole new episode of a whole new pod.
Podcast all about never recording on time.
We're like weeks off, week on, double weeks.
Some of those, for those you didn't recognize that was a Logic song.
Yeah, and I picked up on it, and I was glad.
From, I think, either one of his first two albums, at least, because those are really the ones I only listened to.
That's my am. Y'all know who I am.
Wow, censoring yourself. Don't want to put the swears out there. And like Logic, you maybe thought we had retired because we had not recorded for a while. But no, we have not retired.
Guess who's back?
I guess I should also say
again.
I am Lucas Melby, not Bobby Tarantino.
And I'm Jacob Telejohn, not Black Young Jesus.
Sure. And, you know, Jacob was hard on me. He's like, we don't want to lose this streak just because Sam's going to be on the episode. And you know what? He was kind of right. Because now it's like, who fucking cares?
Who cares when we do a month, 2 months?
I grew up Catholic, and Sam and I went to the same church, and this is what Sam would do during Lent when we weren't supposed to eat Lent or meat on Fridays. Sam would be like, "Oh, I accidentally ate a piece of chicken nugget at lunch in school. Now I'm going to order a meat lover's pizza tonight."
Because who cares?
Yeah, because it's the streak's broken. To make it a little more relatable for Jacob, it'd be like, in No Nut November, you know, make it like a week, and then it's just like, well, now I'm masturbating 5 times a day.
19 times a day, oh god.
So yeah, stuff happened, you know, it's the summertime, people are doing stuff. I was all ready to record the proper time for us, but then it was the 4th of July weekend, and Jacob was off doing stuff. Personally, I think patriotism is cringe, and I spent my 4th of July doing...
Your mom.
No, my allergies were acting up, so I took a little Benadryl and I went to bed basically right when the fireworks show was starting.
So were you able to sleep through them, or did you just lay there in bed and agony?
I didn't really hear them, so yeah, I was perfectly content. I probably had the air conditioner on, so that maybe drowned them out. But
NBD.
I was perfectly fine with just, going to sleep, waking up, and not being proud to be an American. Because I would think longtime listeners of the pod would know I don't like America that much.
Wow.
But something I do like some of the time is Disney Channel original movies.
And what a movie do we have for you today?
I'll be honest, this morning I didn't sleep the best because I almost never sleep well. But I was like, oh, fuck, I am not feeling like recording today. You know what? Maybe we just canceled the podcast.
Oh, my.
Maybe that's what... Unfortunately, we're not big enough
That's
to,
going to be our new podcast. Cancel the podcast.
Maybe, unfortunately, we're not big enough to, actually get canceled, but, what a relief. Oh, cancel me, everybody, and then I don't need to do the podcast anymore.
That's sad.
But I was very happy to find that I really enjoyed the movie we watched today. Go figure, huh?
Go figure.
Go figure I'd like this
The name
movie.
of the movie itself.
An exclamation title, unlike one we've had since You Wish.
You wish.
Go figure. Not since Genius have we had a hockey-centric DCOM. And
yeah, it's been a bit.
I respect hockey players. I'm sure it's a very fun sport to play, but in my opinion, it is not a sport designed for an audience. Because it's so hard to track what's going on. You watch it on TV. The camera work is bad because the puck's moving so fast.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I think they used to make the puck glow because
really
before high definition TVs where people were watching on CRTs or the quality was worse, people just really could not tell where the hockey pucks are.
I did not know that.
But the hockey puck's very apparent in this movie. Go figure. And I don't know, Jacob, I think we should just get right into it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
And we start, as you would expect, right on an ice rink. We're seeing our main character, Caitlin Kingsford.
Yes.
Ice skating around. We're getting some good old-fashioned... This is, in some ways, not your normal DCOM, but in other ways like this, it is, because we're getting lots of narration from Caitlin, basically talking herself up, being like, you know what? I'm pretty good at this whole skating thing.
I'm pretty good.
I'm maybe a superstar in training. I got a bunch of haters around me. They call me a dork, but you know what?
It's true.
I'm where it's at.
She's where it's at.
She is 14 years old, which I mentioned just because for once she seems to be closer to like the described age as opposed to being like a 20-year-old playing a 15-year-old or whatever. So there are some people that maybe look a little older than they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
She is played by Jordan Hinson, which I only bring up because at the time she was played, her name was Jordan Hinson, but at some point in her career, which I don't think has been a very illustrious one, she started to instead go by Jordan Danger.
I like that one better.
It's
Much
more an actress-sounding name for people
fun.
that Jacob would know and be big fans. Yeah, I think there's somebody else with the last name Danger that
I don't
you
know.
probably know.
I don't know.
You know.
No, I really don't know.
Anyways, she's given introductions of herself, her rivals, her coaches, and her family. And I thought this movie looked better than a lot of DCOMs we've watched. I don't know a lot about film. I know that there are, depending on how something is filmed, it can prevent like how good it can possibly look. So I don't know if this movie was actually filmed on like film stock because it just looked like it had been up-res to HD quality a lot better than other movies we had watched. It wasn't boxed into 4:3. It wasn't a fake 16:9 coming from a 4:3 image. I thought it looked nice, and I also found some of the costuming and some of the just general fashion and framing of shots and stuff in it gave me some vibes of like Drop Dead Gorgeous, which is the Kirsten Dunst movie, kind of a black comedy about a beauty pageant.
Yeah.
It's getting a little of Best in Show about like the dog show competition, and as well as some of her being a figure skater or a twirl girl.
Twirl girl, we hear that phrase a lot.
She's wearing some flamboyant clothes that was even a little like Clueless at times too. So I was already just kind of taken aback of like, this is kind of feeling more like a real movie.
Yeah, definitely
I was really expecting, because the general plot, as we'll get into shortly, is she's a figure skater, but she's playing on a hockey team. Whoa, fish out of water.
Yeah.
Sounds like a decent plot for a DCOM.
Maybe one we've seen before.
An easy enough layup, but I found, they played the cards pretty well, and even threw some curveballs in there, or some curved pucks that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, it wasn't one we were overly excited for, but it turned into a sweet surprise.
But that's often the case, for me at least, where there are ones that I hear about, and then I watch them and I go, Johnny Tsunami, more like Johnny
Kapahala.
Wave Pool.
Oh, no.
Johnny Lazy River. And then this one where I mean, they're still ready to run. One I definitely didn't hear about and was not happy to have watched. Yeah. A little bit of character setup for her is we get a weird time rewind of 15 minutes earlier where there's some little girl in the locker room and she's like, "Oh no, Mom, I lost my scrunchie."
We first see her on the ice and she's doing all these great moves, and then she like goes up for like a twirl in the air, and then it like cuts to 15, so it cuts back to 15 minutes earlier, where some little girl in the locker room's complaining because she doesn't have a scrunchie for her hair. So Caitlin takes hers out, like her good one, like a scrunchie, and she gives it to the little girl. So we're thinking, oh, she's a nice person. They're setting at him. She's like, well, I have my lucky hairband anyways. And then
it like breaks or something during her.
Yeah. So then immediately she puts that in her hair. Then it cuts to her falling. Well,
because
it breaks.
It breaks in her hair. Her hair comes out of a ponytail or whatever, and it causes her to fall,
lose balance. Who knows?
I think she still ends up doing okay because she has caught the eye of one Natasha Gobelman, who, like all great figure skaters, is Russian, or figure skater coaches. Yeah. And she takes out Caitlin for a milkshake and gives her a proposition.
And the milkshake place is at the rink. I wish we had milkshake places everywhere.
There should be more milkshake places.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, where can we go? We got I guess we got McDonald's, we got Culver's,
Dairy Queen.
Yeah, I guess we're.
Wendy's.
You know what? We got plenty,
but not like legit. Not like
they
real,
only sell milkshakes.
Real.
Where my Sonic at? Nah, I think Sonic is supposed to be kind of bad. So Natasha is saying, "Hey, I want to train you, but really the only way I can do that is if you come to this private school academy and be part of the figure skating team.
Oh.
Caitlin's all like, fuck yeah. She brings this to her parents, and they're all like, fuck no, we ain't paying for that shit.
Yeah, no way. I mean, it was probably a few grand a semi.
I mean, you want to talk about milkshakes being at an ice rink. This school's got a nice cafeteria with, booth seats. It's got a frozen yogurt stand just around on campus.
Just around.
During the wintertime, I feel very bad for that frozen yogurt guy. She also then stops by her brother's room, Bradley, who is a hockey fan and also a nerd because he's doing robot geometry.
Stuff.
Well, not robot stuff yet, but he's doing geometry strategies, setting up stuff for hockey,
right? Yeah,
on his computer. She
She
wants him to sell some or all of his signed hockey puck collection so that she can go to the school.
Yeah.
And she's like, yo, I'll hook you up when I make the Olympic team and I'm on cereal boxes or whatever. That's her really big prize thing. She wants to be on cereal boxes.
Yes.
But Bradley says, no, you suck. You're so self-absorbed. So we were getting a little weird tension between her being really nice and giving this girl her lucky scrunchie, but now we're being told, as we would expect maybe for a figure skater character who's going to be in a fish out of water situation, that she's a pretty girl, chipped my nail kind of stuck up person. So it was kind of a weird thing, but...
It was tugging at her heartstrings.
She's nice, but aloof, maybe.
Yes.
So she goes and tells Natasha, being like, what can I do? And she, Natasha that is, reaches out to the girls' hockey coach at this school and says, this girl, she's a really good skater. I want her to be on the figure skating team. But the figure skating team, I guess it's not a prestigious enough program at this school, so there's no
scholarships. But the hockey do.
The girls' hockey team, who the coach says is terrible, is like, you know what? We do get scholarships for kids to go to our school.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. But Natasha's kind of throwing some hey,
if you want to talk about a little weird,
wink. There was some weird stuff going on, and then the scene to immediately follow after Natasha kind of offering sexual favors is Caitlin putting on some lip balm or something. It's a close up of her lips. It's a very weird
big close up on her mouth of her being like, hockey, no way. But yeah, it was a little weird juxtaposition between subject matters, and also just kind of a weird shot. But I was like, again, there is some style and craft going into this DCOM. She's essentially like, oh, hockey's gross, I don't get it. But Natasha gives her the lowdown of hey, this is the only way you're going to be able to get into this school, and you're going to be really busy because you're going to have to do hockey practice and then also skating practice, and maybe at some point read a book or something.
You got to own it if you want it.
So then we're getting right into it because it's the first day of hockey practice, and Caitlin rolls up to all of the girls who are wearing the exact same uniforms as her, the same equipment, and she says, excuse me, can somebody tell me where the girls' hockey practice is? And it's like, come on, girl, put the pieces together.
True.
And she's very intimidated by who she's meeting because they are hockey girls. They aren't necessarily... the main girls that you're introduced to the hockey team look mostly like pretty girls. But a lot of the other ones, they're just hockey girls. They're gruff and growling. And she's messing with her helmet and it's falling around and she falls on the ice at some point. And oh no, they're so scary.
Scary women.
They're skating around for practice. She crashes into the boards because she doesn't know how to properly stop with the hockey skates.
Yeah. And she had mentioned that, right? How, it's going to be a completely different thing. But she's always talking to herself, she's talking to herself audibly, so
talking
people can
to herself
hear.
In ways that sometimes would be narration, but she's saying it out loud.
But
nobody calls her out.
Can't do that. Can't no turns. No, and she uses figure skating terms for stuff she's doing, but I don't remember.
And she immediately catches the eye and suspicion of one Spencer.
25-year-old student manager.
Yeah, so it seems that he's a student assistant coach or manager, which is, if he was a manager, that would make sense, but he's making play suggestions and stuff. Yeah. So it seems like he's an assistant coach, which seems really weird.
He's young,
why wouldn't
he
just be on the
really
boys'
old
hockey team?
Yeah.
But he looks older than 17 or 18, and there's some scenes where it's a little creepy.
Yeah, we see him
Caitlin
a lot of
definitely
times.
Looks 14.
Yeah, because he's in the women's locker room a lot.
Yeah, sure. And then we get to cut to something that is very exciting and definitely goes places in this movie. We cut to Bradley at school, and his nerdy friend runs up to him saying, Bradley, the robot wars are coming! The robot wars are coming!
And then, like, his friend says something about, well, what about hockey?
Yeah, you can't be on the robot team if you do hockey.
I quit hockey. He's like, what, Bradley? You love hockey.
I love robots
I love robots.
So I was like, okay, where's this going? And I am not disappointed.
That was a fun subplot.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially the only subplot in this movie.
We get a lot of subplots and different, storylines in other movies, but
most of them suck.
Yeah, this was a fun one. We were
This
fans.
is like the equivalent of in Stuck in the Suburbs of the little brother hiding in places.
Yeah.
Which doesn't well, actually, I think it maybe pays off a little bit. Who cares? This movie's better than Stuck in the Suburbs. So the three main girls from the hockey team that actually get names and
Mojo
talk to Mojo, who is an Asian girl
who does like a lot of
who's into like
spiritual
magic, but it seems more like shamanic or even maybe Native American. She's burning some sage or something similar at one point.
Yeah,
potentially racist.
Potentially, there was her roommate.
Who will learn is a roommate named Hollywood.
Yeah,
and that's not necessarily treated as a nickname, but that's what just people call her.
And then who's the
Ronnie?
Ronnie, yeah. Ronnie is like
who's the real, butch, tough, thick hockey girl.
Yeah,
and she is the team captain.
Yeah,
and she is the scariest one for Caitlin.
Yeah, I'll say to that, we really don't. There really aren't any other.
No, there are other girls, but none of them even
talk,
say a thing.
Yeah,
they don't even go, "Hey, you're a twirl guy."
Yeah, that happens later.
That does. Caitlin, after the first practice, she goes and talks to the coach to be like, "Hey, you know what? I don't think this is going to work out. I'm just going to quit."
He's like, "No, you can't quit," because he goes, he explains.
Obviously, she would lose the scholarship.
Yes, he explains this whole confusing thing, but in the end, it's just like, well, if you quit, I lose my job, and that's.
So he says, "I'll just bench you."
Yeah,
and
she's like, "You'd really do that for me? Nobody's ever done that for me."
And
oh my god!
Because he's after that sweet Russian poontang.
Yeah, he likes that Russian tang.
Then she goes to her room because I guess she hadn't even really moved in yet. She went right to hockey practice and now is trying to put some of her stuff away. And then she meets her roommate Hollywood, who she recognizes from the hockey practice. And Hollywood says, "Hey, I'm left wing," as like a hockey position. Yeah. And then there's a very funny joke where Caitlin goes, "Oh, I'm moderate conservative." And it's like, while I don't think kids necessarily always identify as conservative, I'm like, yeah, I think Caitlin probably would be a moderate conservative.
Wow. That was actually said?
Yes.
What?
There's a lot of weird jokes in this movie.
Yeah, I remember a couple. I don't remember hearing that one, though.
Caitlin quickly picks up that because she's unfurling like a Christy Yamaguchi poster.
Yes.
Obviously a very famous figure skater.
Yeah.
And Hollywood's like, "Oh my god, I love it because it's ironic and it sucks. So we're going to use this as a dartboard because twirl girl figure skaters are losers."
Wow.
They use the term twirl girl more than I've never even heard the term before. But
I like it. It's a good term.
Sure. More like, "You twirl girl, I'm going to hurl
girl.
Earl." I love you, Earl.
Everyone hurls Earl.
Oh, I screwed up. My name is Earl with like Everybody Loves Raymond. Everybody loves Earl.
Everybody loves Raven?
Raymond.
Oh.
Like Ray Romano?
I thought you were making like a Raven Simone. Like a Raven, Not So Raven joke.
Oh, I was like, wait, is that the name of the show? Everybody hates Chris. So then quickly, Caitlin's got this double life she's trying to lead.
Yeah, double life.
Trying to fit in and be cool.
Yes.
And then she's going to her first figure skating practice. And here all the girls are typical, as you'd expect, stuck up, probably rich girls because they're able to go to their school without a scholarship. Yeah. And they're all commenting on her skating outfit being lame or whatever. She runs into a girl she recognizes from competitions. It almost goes nowhere, but I mention her because there's a very funny thing that happens later on. And she's like, didn't you retire? And she's like, I'm only 17.
That was funny.
Though she does look older than 17. But that is a funny joke about
I like that one.
how long you can be a figure skater.
Yeah, it's true, but it's sad.
Where Natasha's asking them all to do a certain technique or whatever, and she does really good. So she's getting the praise of the coach and the ire from her teammates, who then are talking within earshot of her being like, I heard it was either boarding school or jail for her.
Yes, that was sad.
Which it doesn't even make sense of how, it was either she had to pay a lot of money to go to this school or she was going to go to jail.
So, but this is the part where that girl defends her, right?
Well, she says something about, hey, she's actually on the hockey team. That's the nice girl. The one girl she recognized who turns out to be kind of nice to her.
Yeah.
I think that's cool she's on the hockey team. The other girls are like, ugh, hockey's so gross.
Yeah.
And then Caitlin comes out, and I don't know if she's like defending her team or she's defending the other skater and being like, hey, you can be mean to me all you want, but be nice to everybody else.
Yes. See, now she's good again. She's good, then she's bad, then she's good, bad.
That's why I'm saying I think she's more just like aloof or like socially unaware.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we really get any more. Like, I feel like at this point she's already kind of like broken out of her like goofiness.
No.
You know, so?
Because she still wears very crazy outfits.
Well, I mean, like her just being kind of like, duh. You know, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to like.
I love it when you try to describe characters as being stupid, and you always end up just going duh. And that's such an offensive way. It's like that's not even what I was trying to say. Is she's stupid? She's just socially awkward in her like very energetic.
I should say her stuck upness.
No, you said duh.
She's not as stuck up after this point, I don't think. Like, she's not as bitchy. Yeah. She doesn't give me the bitchy vibes.
It's either a girl in these movies to Jacob is she's a bitch or she's So, anyways.
Stick to the brand.
There's a weird scene where, I don't know if she's walking between practices or something, but she walks by this, like, campus club and she sees Spencer, the student coach,
and he's like jamming on his
guitar in a pop punk band.
Yeah,
this goes nowhere.
No, well, we do see him in the band like 2-3 other times.
We see him holding a guitar case at one point, but it doesn't matter that he's a musician.
No, like I thought at the very end where there's that dance scene that his band could have been playing, but they aren't though, are they?
But no, they're not, and it's not even something where she's like, oh, maybe he's kind of cool, because she goes, whatever,
yeah. That was kind of a weird thing.
But I was like, yeah.
Maybe they had plans to have him jam with his band in the end, but they just didn't. Know. Who knows? Who cares?
And then it comes to the first hockey game.
Yes.
And Caitlin gets put in because Spencer's questioning the coach, being like, she's supposed to be really good, right? Why aren't you putting her in?
Yeah. The secret weapon.
Yeah. And then the coach is like, well, okay. Puts her in, and Natasha immediately comes and finds him and says, like, what the fuck are you going to do? What are you doing? She's going to get hurt out there, and then she's not going to be able to figure skate. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, honey. Yeah. Please still go on the date with me.
Yeah. But, like, really the only thing that comes from this game is she doesn't block for Ronnie.
Yeah, I didn't really quite catch what happened. I just said something happened, so I guess I'm glossing over it.
Yeah, so like hockey, so Ronnie had the puck and she was going to go to score, right? And she'd even asked Caitlin, she's like, hey, block for me.
And she must have gotten scared.
And she didn't, yeah. She swerved away from the defenders coming, and Ronnie just got leveled.
Yeah, and Ronnie got laid out.
And then that was like the end of the game, and then Ronnie got mad at Caitlin and started chasing her, and then she dives on her and like tackles her.
There's another funny line that's odd in a DCOM is as Caitlin's running away, she's saying, oh, she's a Tanya, referencing Tanya Harding, who was, if you had seen I, Tanya, starring Margot Robbie, the figure skater who, like, paid her, like, boyfriend or, like, somebody to, like, attack the other figure skater. So,
wow, I
weird
that
joke
one too.
to make it in, especially because it's probably, like, 15 years old or something.
Why would they? There's some weird stuff in this movie.
Hollywood, her roommate, eventually finds out that she is, in fact, a twirl girl.
Is that something you picked up or you saw on the IMDb?
No, that's something I heard.
That's
There's
good.
very little, like, trivia or goofs or they're notable quotes. I don't think is she's a Tanya, but it probably should be in there.
Yeah, it's a good reference.
So Hollywood says, "I won't tell anybody you're a twirl girl," and she quickly warms up to her to be like,
yes. So you're saying that this is after they spill the thing in her room, right? And they're going to get the mop.
Yeah. I'm glossing over details again.
I was just wondering like how we just got to that part. But yes, they spill a drink, they go get a mop, and in this, because we didn't talk about the storage shed yet, have we?
No, she has sequestered all of her figure skating stuff, including her little cute plushies and outfits and Christy Yamaguchi poster into the janitor's closet.
And the janitor knows about it. She just bribes him with food.
Yeah, she gives him sandwiches, and he's cool with it.
Yes.
So Hollywood, she follows her into the janitor's closet because a drink gets spilled, and she's getting a mop, and then she finds out she's a twirl girl.
You're a twirl girl, and she's like, I can't tell. Well, but then she like realizes, if it was Ronnie would go and tell everybody. But Hollywood's like,
a bitch.
Yeah.
But Hollywood's really nice. She says, "Oh, you know what? Maybe I was too hard on figure skating. It's different now that I know you and I see that you're somewhat trying in hockey too." So it was a very Hollywood
cool.
was very nice.
She's cool.
Oh yeah, her thing seems to be maybe because she's a California girl or something that she like meditates in a couple of scenes, which kind of seems to overlap with the weird magic girl too. It had been hinted at already, and I would say possibly the best B-plot ever in a Disney Channel original movie is Bradley and his nerdy friend constructing a robot basically for a BattleBots competition. And in this scene, they have it on the front lawn of the house, and it goes haywire and starts chasing them around, and they have to run away from it. Amazing. I love it so much. Then, I think her name is... I don't remember her name, but the meanest... figure skating girl.
Yeah.
She invites Caitlin over for lunch, and then it's like, "Oh, we're gonna have this party. You should come." And she's like, "Oh, but I'm having she says I'm having lessons." "Oh, at night?" "Yeah, Natasha's working me really hard." So then evil figure skating girl is mad because she's jealous about these special lessons.
Yes.
Caitlin still's like, "Okay, yeah, I can probably make the party." This whole sequence gets really confusing because then we see her practicing hockey by herself.
Yeah, and that's when Bradley...
Spencer. Bradley's her brother. Okay.
Yes, okay.
Maybe showing your Freudian slip there.
So that's when Spencer finds her just skating. There was something about what was the whole deal?
So he sees her skating and is like, oh, maybe she's trying actually hard.
If she scored on him, he would just shut up?
They have a one-on-one challenge. I don't remember what he got if he won, but she says, well, if I win, you can never say another word to me. And
which obviously doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't.
Because they get married.
Unfortunately. But whatever Caitlin does, she kind of jukes him out.
She does like a figure skating twirl or something.
Oh, okay.
And then
Spencer falls?
Yes, and then he's like, what the heck was that? Like, he's like, what the
So then it's like, in this moment, he's like, huh? And then she says, don't talk. And then Spencer, we just see him. Eyes alight. Oh man, I love her now. Spencer, he's up there as worst DCOM love interests.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't really bring much to the plate.
So then, sequence events. Solo hockey practice that she's putting on herself. Then she goes to the party, and she's basically going to the party for a bit before she goes to her lesson with Natasha. All in this same night still.
So what makes her go to the janitorial closet?
She gets to the party. She meets up with Mean Skate Girl, and she says, "Oh, I'm so glad you came, but we just ran out of," she says, "paper cups." Okay. I thought it was funny that she specified what kind of cups, but she says, "Could you go get some more from the supply closet?"
So they had jury-rigged this whole place up to where there's paint above where the cups are.
They do.
If she pulled the cups out, the paint would fall like in Carrie.
Yep.
And then above the door... Well, they also lock her in there. She goes there to get the cups, pulls, and the paint drops on her head. It's purple paint.
They shove something in the door so she can't get out. But also, it's rigged up in a way that there's like a kind of a pyramid stack of cups.
Yeah.
Cup stacks or rolls or whatever. Yeah. And only the top one is the one with the rope attached to it.
Very she just had bad
fortunate
luck.
Fortunate and unfortunate that she picked that one.
And then when she tries to leave, like when she touches the door handle, a sign drops down from the door.
Oh yeah,
it says "Go home, Sputnik."
Because we haven't touched on that because Natasha, the coach, is Russian. She has to have weird little pet names.
Yeah.
and she calls her Sputnik, which we never actually looked up what that means. We just know it as the satellite. And I question whether Jacob theorized that maybe it means star.
Star,
which would be cute. But I just assume the writer doesn't know any Russian and is just throwing in weird words.
Yeah.
She gets caught in this closet for who knows quite how long, but the party's over. And then the janitor happens upon her. Even though this is not the closet she had all her stuff in.
No, he just has many different closets, I guess.
This was the utility closet as opposed to the janitorial closet.
Yeah, because that would have been really mean if they had, like, trashed all of her other stuff in there, too.
So he lets her out.
They're not nice girls. Well, it's mainly just this one, isn't it?
There's one blonde girl who's her crony, who I guess was questioning, saying, isn't this going a little far?
Yeah.
And this is where the mean girl says, well, do you get special lessons with Natasha? So, speaking of those special lessons, she shows up covered in paint.
Yes.
Again, still the same night for this supposedly special lesson.
And it was like 9:45. Well, she asked the maintenance dude, it's 9:45, and she's like freaking out.
And then Christy Yamaguchi's there.
Yes, and that's the only time we see her, isn't it?
No.
No?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
And...
Which is kind of weird.
It is weird.
Why wouldn't they have a scene with her, Caitlyn?
Well, it kind of makes sense with how the movie ends, that she's a very good skater.
Yeah.
And that Natasha wanted her to come meet Christy Yamaguchi. But then the mean skate girl's there, and she's getting a lesson from Christy Yamaguchi,
yes.
So it's like, how special were these secret lessons that she can just show up?
I think what Natasha was saying, because
she called her up as a backup or whatever.
She didn't show up. She's like, you were late. You did not show up. Basically leave. And then she left.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, Yamaguchi was in here. It was just kind of weird. They never had a scene like in like the end, or something,
So the follow-up scene is
together.
She still gets to sit down and talk with Christy Yamaguchi, and she gives her some tips and like a pep talk, and says, because she thinks Natasha's mad at her because of some stuff she said to her, but Christy Yamaguchi's like, nah, she says you're really good. She's got lots of faith in you, so don't be so hard on yourself. Thanks, Christy.
But nothing on the ice. No ice tips.
No, she's like, you're good. You're Gucci. I'll get you later.
They only got 5 minutes of Yamaguchi ice time.
Yamaguchi gang. All right. So then we get a really weird musical montage of a few different things. I think this is probably one of a couple pop punk montages we get.
First, a lot of that kind of music.
Getting like a D+ on a report or a paper in school. So this isn't what was that movie?
Something clicks for her. I don't know when it is, but like she says at one point, "Oh, Bradley was right," and it's like in regards to his it was because of geometry, of his plays. So then she starts. Is that when this happened here?
Well, this is the lead up to her first, because she's first bad at math or class or whatever, and this isn't quite like I can't remember. There was a couple different movies where like things get derailed because oh no, I'm failing in school, and then it's like 10 minutes and resolved. So she's bad at school.
But gets better.
She's also bad at hockey, and the team's all really mean to her. And eventually this montage ends with her taking a bus to go back home. On the way there, she calls her coaches, who we never really even talked about. They're very much characters that feel like they came out of like Drop Dead Gorgeous or something like that, because they're wearing all these weird outfits that, or maybe are just what skating coaches wear, but they really stand out. And there's a really funny visual gag where she's calling them, and there's a few other calls where they're split screened. And in this case, it's a kind of a 3-panel thing. One coach, who's an older guy, who's maybe a little flamboyant on the left, her panel in the middle, and then the older lady on the right. And then at one point, it cuts back to them because it's like, oh, they're on this 3-way call and they're all separated. But then it cuts back and they're all in the same room.
It was pretty good.
It was, again, we don't really get visual gags like that.
No.
Framing shots or stylistic editing in DCOMs, really.
So
we just get, I don't know.
I said it was
like a fart joke or something.
It was a film they maybe had higher intentions for.
Maybe this was supposed to be like a direct-to-video movie. I don't think it was theatrical aspirations or anything, but it seemed like a cut above your daddy's DCOMs.
Oh.
So then she gets home, and the humor continues for at least us, but it's in kind of a weird extreme way, because apparently Bradley, her little brother, had made a bet with his dad.
They bet all the time. There's a lot of bets.
Whether she would make it and not like run home from the hockey team. She's like, you bet on whether I'd make it? And she's on the verge of tears.
I bet that you wouldn't. Or that you would.
She runs up to her room, goes and tries to dive onto her bed, and she just dives onto a pile of stuff, and her bed's not there. And then her mom comes in and she's like, what happened to my stuff? And the mom says, well, my online business is really taking off. I got lots of eBay auctions to send out stuff for.
And she's selling all of her stuff. She sold her entire room.
And then she turns to a box that says skating junk. Maybe it has some of her like plushies in it. She's like, my stuff isn't junk. So it's like all of this stuff that eventually some of it gets resolved, but like the betting on like whether she'd make it or not, and the dad was betting that she would. So it's Bradley who was being mean, but that's still a level of meanness that doesn't really show up in DCOMs. So
especially the mother.
My mouth.
What happened to her bed? Where'd it go?
My mouth was agape with all that was happening. Yeah, I mean, she's gonna come home sometimes. Did you? Yeah. Where was she gonna sleep for Christmas or something?
So she takes the box of junk. And she heads to like...
Have I not told you about like heavily enunciating those
that one I did on purpose.
Well, you did the another one like 30 seconds ago.
Well, that one I didn't do on purpose. So she takes her box of junk, and then she goes to like a park and sits on a bench, and she's like naming all of her stuffed animals. She pulls them out. Mr. Mosby, Mr. Gooby Looby, Mr. Tooby Tooby.
I love Mr. Tooby Tooby.
And she's like, what is this? And it's like a picture of like her mother as a skater. And she's like, what?
Medals
there's medals. And then here comes Mama. And she's like, I didn't know you were a twirl girl. She's like, you got me.
Well, once a twirl girl, always a twirl girl.
Yes. So that explains why it's skating junk.
Because it's her own junk.
Yeah. She doesn't like it anymore.
And she at some time, she hadn't always been the most supportive of wanting her to go to the school to ice skate and whatever.
So, yeah.
Because she had... an injury, hurt her ankle when she was supposed to gonna have it all. She was a great skater, and she was just worried about the fraught nature of skating, and she didn't want her daughter to get hurt and disappointed.
Yep.
So now Caitlin has renewed hope and vigor and gets back on, I guess, a red-eye bus to get back to school.
Yes.
Yeah, she's more motivated to play hockey, and she's like, hey, put me in, coach. But Natasha, before had been like, coach,
I'm ready to play.
Keep her on the bench. Don't do this.
Yes, and then Mojo gets hurt.
Yeah.
So they put in some other random girl. And then Spencer.
Yeah, because Spencer had heard some conversation between Natasha and the coach.
Them talking.
Being like, he's doing this for a lady, for a broad.
For a blowy. But he's like, you can't just not play our best weapon, our best player, because of your Russian date. And he's like, you know about that? And he's like, I've known.
But I'm keeping it to myself.
Yes, he said, he's like, I'm the only one that knows for now. And he's like, oh. And then I'll tip the school
newspaper off.
Yes. So they throw her in there right now.
Yeah, and she's not like a star player. At one point, she actually gets tripped by the other team.
She pushes the girl in the back.
And this is a scary-looking hockey girl who turns around and says, hey, you want a piece of me, baby?
I don't want a piece. Girl? I want the whole thing.
And then it does not lead to any further fisticuffs. But
but she earns respect here.
Yeah, the team are all like, oh.
Yeah.
So
they love that. You love to see it.
She was willing to get into a fight. And the Eagles, that's the name of their team, they actually win. And they celebrate with a really weird, like, sweaty girl pile-up where they're all in their, like, jerseys piling up on each other in the rink, and they show close-ups of their faces, and it's uncomfortable, and they do it multiple times.
Yeah, there's a lot of pile-ups. There's a lot of women-on-women action in this movie.
Okay, Jacob.
It's true.
Speaking of, they go to and have a victory dance party at the weird kids club.
Oh, that was lit.
On campus.
This is the scene where I thought Spencer might have been performing with his band.
This would have made sense.
Yes.
But he doesn't.
No, and then
the DJ throws on
the
royalty-free hip-hop song.
The locker room jam that they were listening to earlier, right?
Oh, maybe.
That she turned off on Ronnie's boombox.
Yeah, Ronnie, the big hockey girl, loves hip-hop. And, Caitlin doesn't. So then they're all jamming out. The party's going crazy. And Ronnie's dancing up towards Caitlin. And is like, Caitlin's like, oh, my God, this... And Ronnie says, "Is hip hop?" And then she says, "Actually, it's bad." And then they laugh together because they can agree to disagree about hip hop.
It's bad?
That's what Caitlin said. It was like, I was going to say this is, and then Ronnie goes, "Hip hop? No, bad."
I missed that.
Well, Jacob sits on his phone a lot, so for all the people getting on my fucking back about glossing over shit,
I'm
next time
back.
Sam's on a fucking podcast, he can recap the damn movie. Jacob ain't even watching shit.
I'm picking stuff up.
He ain't even winning those fantasy shit either.
Oh, ooh, that's
He ain't in no sweaty girl pile-up victory dances.
Not
All right,
yet.
let's check in with the battle bots. It's going good. The dad's helping out. They're soldering circuit boards.
So yes, we're
It's
back
awesome.
to this plot line of the
This movie could not work without battle bots.
No, but like sometimes it does. Like it turned on Bradley and his friend. I remember in one scene.
Yeah,
like
I
it chases
talked
them.
about that earlier.
Okay.
You were probably on your phone.
Glossing
and weren't
over.
listening.
It's between my feet, on my toes.
It's not.
It is. So.
He's a fucking pervert.
It's between my feet.
But then we get a winning montage, as opposed to her losing montage before.
Yeah.
I think this is maybe where she says, "Bradley helped me with parallelograms," or
Yes.
whatever.
This is when it clicks. Bradley was right, and she like screams that out in her geometry class, and all of her classmates are like, "This girl's fucking nuts."
So she's winning on the hockey team. I think we see one or two skate competitions.
She's making her hockey team do ballet.
Well,
Maybe that's a little
just
later.
stretches or whatever. Not.
But like, what's his name? Spencer. Like, has he said that he
so
knows
that's
yet?
in this scene right now, because
Okay.
unfortunately, Caitlin, despite winning against Spencer in their face-off, is allowing Spencer to talk to her.
Yeah.
And it's getting a little close. And then Spencer somehow lets slip that he knows she's a twirl girl. And she's like, "What the hell? How do you know that?
I've
Are you
known
a
for
stalker?" And he's
ages.
like, "Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I
stalker."
guess I'm a bit of a stalker. I mean, I'm only looking in your window at night and picking up your used Kleenexes. I guess if that makes me a stalker, then guilty." He's still like, "Hey, I'll keep your secret."
Secrets.
He actually, no, that's what he says, is he says, "I didn't tell you because I wanted to use it against
you." It's like,
I'm
oh
what
my.
the fuck are you thinking, Spencer?
Yo, Spencer's a dog.
Then we get a very weird scene where at figure skating practice, the nice girl who Caitlin thought had retired and is maybe a little over the hill at the age of 17,
Yeah.
screws up and falls, and Natasha gives her a tongue lashing, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then she runs off crying, and
She's
Caitlin
like-
follows up with her in the bathroom, and she's at the stall, and she's trying to come in and see
Like,
how
hey,
she's doing.
it's okay, you
No,
know,
leave alone.
and then a
Something
needle drops to the floor. She's like, "No, you can't do this. Steroids is not the answer."
There was a pause where she's like contemplating, and I'm like, what? This is a
Yeah.
Disney Channel original movie. And she says, "What, steroids? No, I'm diabetic." And then she's like, "Oh, I never knew.
So
It's my insulin."
I don't need
It's
more
a-
pity. I don't want the pity.
But I
from
feel
the-
like it probably could be hard to be an ice skater and be diabetic.
Uh,
So that was wild to get a
steroids
steroids
show.
fake out
Yeah,
in a
what the
Disney
heck?
Channel original movie. Where
movie's
was that in
wild.
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off? His friend DB was juicing. He was
Oh
on the
my.
juice. That's why he had that rage all the
Oh.
time about cooking.
Oh no.
And unfortunately, because Jacob had mentioned when we were watching this, he's like, "Where's the conflict in this?" I'm like, there's plenty of conflict. There's inter-team conflict. There's inter-sports conflict. There's family conflict. But of course, it is a DCOM after all. We kind of knew this was coming. They make it to the hockey finals, but
Yeah.
it just happens to be the same day and literally the same time as the big figure skating
Yes. Competition. whatever.
competition, slightly tryouts for a certain team,
Yeah.
which is, I was commenting and saying, I guess it could be spread out between different towns or cities, but how many ice rinks do they got in their vicinity to be able to have a hockey championship and a figure skating championship at the same time?
Pretty convenient, one
This
might
is-
say.
Of course, Caitlin is conflicted, doesn't know what she should do.
So yes, so both sides are like, "Where is she? I thought she'd be here."
Well, she has a moment where she's looking at her fucking Christy Yamaguchi poster and
Yeah.
saying, "Christy Yamaguchi, what should I do?" She does an eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then we cut to the most important thing, the conclusion of Bradley's robot arc, just
Oh.
about, because The mom comes in and talks to him, and we see, why has he been focusing on robots so much? It's because he's mad that hockey used to be his thing. He's like, I should have gotten a scholarship.
Yeah.
Bro, you're like 10 years old. You aren't qualifying for scholarships, especially for a girls' hockey team.
No.
So the mom says, hey, robots are cool, but I bet you really miss hockey. And he's like, meh, I don't know.
So he gets his nerdy buddy to help him.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. That's the real conclusion. But this is his... Even Bradley's got a character arc to go through.
Yeah.
Then it's the time of it's the big game, and the lead up to the start, we're getting a weird... All of the girls are in the center line, both teams. They're squatted down,
like
growling at each other,
barking at one another, licking their lips.
The rival team is the Tigers, so that kind of makes sense. But they're the Eagles, so it's just...
They should be con.
I was like, what was the director thinking? I don't maybe want to know what he was thinking when he was having these girls kind of prone and angled up at each other.
Oh.
But hey.
You're not complaining, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Jacob wasn't complaining.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Caitlin ultimately chooses hockey. She shows up there, and the team's all like, what are you doing? Spencer's like, what are you doing? And Caitlin's like, hey.
What are you doing? No.
What are those? And then she says, no, hockey is more important for me now. Figure skating can wait. But it's
Spencer was pissed, because obviously he knows
she's a much better figure skater than a hockey player.
Yeah, I didn't, like you were saying, where are you going to go with hockey? Where's women's professional
and it's
hockey?
Well, if you're saying that girl is maybe going to retire at the age of 17 and you're 14, you should probably make the best of your figure skating years.
Time. Yeah.
But she says something about, no, I'm the team's chi, which is weird. That's not what the Magic Girl says.
Yes.
But she had been doing weird colorography stuff with her that
she wears orange underneath because it's something with her mojo.
I didn't go into it because it's fucking dumb. So
it's a fun.
I'm glossing over it.
Glossing.
The game starts off, and the Tigers, the rival team, immediately starting off with a strong point deficit.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a hockey's. I
mean, it's girls hockey, so how good can they really be?
It was double-digit score in the end or something.
It was
combined.
Yeah, but at this point, I think it was 5-1 or 4-1.
It was a lot
at the end of the first period or something.
Yeah, way too many goals.
So then they're in the locker room, the coach, and followed by Caitlin. They're giving a pep talk of hey. I don't know, rah, team.
But Caitlin really steps up, and she's like, I don't remember what she all said. But she does, because Ronnie's trying to just walk back out there. She's like, no, I'll let you guys back out there until we get a cheer or something, right? Something like that.
Until we have a sweaty girl pile up. Yes. Come on.
And then she talks him up and tries to get him pumped, excited.
So Bradley, the little brother, he's with the family and the coaches at the figure skating competition, and it hasn't come up to Caitlin's time yet to compete. So he's trying to call Caitlin, but Spencer picks up the phone. So Bradley's talking to Spencer saying, hey, there's going to be a delay. Spencer says, oh, they've already delayed it? No.
Gonna delay it.
And he's like, what are you going to do, Bradley?
Yeah, because his weird nerd friend is there, even though he didn't come with them, but he just happens to also be at the figure skating competition. Yeah. Well, maybe he brought the robot. It's robot time.
It's robot time. Who knows how they got it on the ice?
Yeah, it's just on the ice, and then security's trying to pull it, so they can't skate.
It's a funny little scene, because the people are trying to run around on it.
It's possibly one of the greatest scenes in DCOM history.
Wow.
Maybe cinema history.
Wow.
Overall. So back on the hockey side, the Eagles catch up in points, or they're only down by 1 point, but ultimately they lose.
Yeah, they do, and it's not that big of a deal to anybody.
No, the team seems cool with it because they go over to Caitlin and say,
you tried.
I didn't think you were going to fucking last
a whole
one
year.
Game, let alone the whole season. Come in here to our sweaty girl pile.
Yes, pile up. The other team got to get a pile up in, though.
Yeah, no, they did. No pile ups for losers.
No, only in the locker room.
Spencer gets up to tell her, hey, you can still make a competition.
Yes, but the hockey player, her team doesn't know until Ronnie is tugging on her bag or something. She's got a big
suitcase with all their stuff in it that I guess Spencer had gotten for her.
And Ronnie
hits it with a fucking hockey stick so it all spills out.
You're a twirl girl?
What are those?
Yeah, exactly. she's like freaking out. She's like, I don't need this right now. She's freaking out, picks up her stuff, and leaves.
Something maybe got left behind.
Yeah.
Back at the figure skating rink, unfortunately, BattleBot has met its match in a Zamboni.
Yeah.
The biggest robot in existence.
Biggest bot.
Just crushes the BattleBot and
they sweep it up.
And then there's a hockey organ going doo, 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 doo.
So is this before or after that other girl like just doesn't go out and skates?
I mean, this is... She ultimately ends up being, it sounds like, the last person.
Yeah.
So at some point, she's being driven over by Spencer. She's changed into her gear.
Yeah, well,
she gives Spencer either a kiss on the cheek or the lips.
Both.
We can't fully see it, so I hope it's just the cheek because Spencer is, I don't know, at least 20 or something.
But yes, so the girl that we saw in the bathroom.
The mean girl. Or no,
the bathroom girl. Well,
I only mentioned her so I could bring up the fucking steroids fake out.
Well, yes, so the steroids girl ends up not
the
skating.
diabetic girl.
Yes, diabetic girl ends up not skating because of something that Caitlin said to her. That's why I wanted to bring that up.
Her arc gets to finish off, and she says, skating isn't the whole thing, so I'm not even going to skate one more time. And it's like, you could just do one final competition. Especially because it would have killed time for Caitlin to get there.
Yeah. But that would have been too convenient for the film. We can't have that. We need the conflict of her getting there.
We needed the robot. I'm not going to say, cut the diabetic girl out after the fucking diabetes reveal and just more robot time.
More bot time. So Caitlin shows up.
But she doesn't have her proper figure skating.
She only has one of the skates. So she's like, well, I can skate in my hockey ones because I've been doing it all year. I know what they can do.
So she's going out there wearing these big, bulky skates. And
the first thing she does.
Like, what are those?
Yeah, the first thing she does is fall. And then she just laughs. She's like, ha ha ha.
And she is wearing her mom's old figure skating dress,
pink dress
outfit.
Yes. And then after she falls, she's laughing. She gets up. But then
the hockey team is there.
They're
front
there.
Row
and they're like
on the
waving.
rink.
They're waving the skate. We got it. Oh, we're too late. And she goes over to them. She's like, "It's okay. There's always next time." And they're like, "No." And then Natasha's like, "Well, I'll go talk to them and we make sure you skate."
She says, "Hey, don't worry about the team. They'll let you go." And I was like, "What?" But then Natasha immediately comes over and is like, "They will not let you skate."
Well, no. This is where Mojo throws her marbles on the ground, and this is where the mean girl falls,
sure.
and she pouts.
I don't give a shit about that.
You're glossing.
Yeah. I'm glossing over the bad parts of this movie.
So, and so then Ronnie, this is her character arc. Let her skate. Let her skate. Let her skate.
So the hockey team joins in. Then
everybody.
Most of the audience joins in too.
But they're not very the team is enthusiastic, but the audience is not. They're like, let her skate. Let her skate.
Yeah, they're maybe not even all within time of each other, a little off rhythm.
The words are just forming together.
And we get some shots of the judges, and they're like, "Okay, Jesus
fucking
Christ,
settle down, mob mentality."
Fucking hockey people.
Yeah,
they're gonna start a riot.
So they said, and then there's an announcement while they're still cheering, "Let her skate." Next on the board is Caitlin Cumberbatch.
And she has a pretty long routine.
It's like 3-4 minutes.
It starts off, I don't know the name of the song, but it's a classical one where it's like, no, it's not that.
That one's later. That's like the last one.
It's the, like, dun, dun.
Yeah.
You would recognize it if you heard it.
But then, fun.
As often is the case with gymnastic routines or figure skating routines, there's a record scratch change this song to... What is this, hip-hop?
Hip-hop.
The hippity and hoppitiest?
Hippopotamus.
It should be said, all of the figure skating is done by a pretty obvious stunt double. And I'm not a figure skating judge. I would have let her skate. I'll just say that. And she seems good. It seems good to me.
Yeah.
Then we get another song change that's like hip-hop. But she doesn't really seem to be doing too much within a routine to really be like, whoa, these are crazy hip-hop skate moves.
But she does some, she really
she waves her arms around, but not like any,
Oh, yeah, that goofy, I don't know, worm thing.
She could have been doing some weird, fucking break dance and shit. I don't know.
Wow.
That probably would not get her good points.
No.
She finishes... The team comes out to do they don't pile on her. They kind of lift her up because the crowd's going crazy. They're fucking throwing flowers out at her.
Yes, a lot of flowers. She picks up some flowers, and then the announcer comes on. But then
reads off her score.
Yeah, a 6 point. I don't know, 5.7.
It's out of 6.0. She gets
6.0.
Very high marks.
5.9, and then they say, the Olympic team, right? The Olympic
so that's
team
where it's like, wait,
so-and-so.
so I was like, wait, does she win the competition?
So-and-so.
Or she's in like
and
the top
Caitlin.
4. So yeah, this is the craziest ending.
She just made the Olympics.
Especially because this isn't a real story or anything, but it's like, yo, this fake girl in our movie, she made it to the fucking Olympics.
So she was almost just going to give it up because she fell once. And like, yeah, so the Olympic judges just let her in.
But that's why it was weird, because like the posters or like the banners for this competition was like senior national competition.
Yeah, I saw
not
that.
fucking Olympic trials. Like that is a thing definitely where there would be like trials, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Though now I'm trying to remember like in I, Tonya how that worked out, but you know what? Whatever. I watched Yuri on Ice, so like I'm an expert on ice skating.
That's an anime?
No, it's actually very bad at explaining how ice skating works.
But there was a freeze frame here.
Yeah.
There was a freeze frame with her hoisted up like a winner, like a champ.
And that was Go Figure. Go figure. And I gotta say, this movie, I mean, it won me over pretty quick when I was seeing the weird vibes I was getting about like Best in Show or Drop Dead Gorgeous or whatever. And I'm like, I'm kind of digging what this movie's putting out there.
Yeah.
It started to fall into a little more typical DCOM trappings. I was even getting some like Cadet Kelly vibes of her being a bit of a stuck-up girl, going to a new school with some rough girls, but then she wins them over through dance. He's getting a little sexy time with Christy Carlson Romano, maybe.
It was a fun movie.
Yeah, no, I honestly, this been a hot minute, I feel, since a movie has even, like, I think this might be like a top 10 DCOM movie for me now. It's been quite a while where I put anything up there, but I kind of said like Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off was kind of like the best exemplification of a sports DCOM, but I think this one beats it at least within the sports DCOM category because it's fully, we got 2 sports in here, not cooking in sports.
That's a combo.
No disrespect to Eddie. I don't know if I end up liking this more. It does not have a golden retriever covered in purple slime.
It had a girl covered in purple slime, though.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, maybe for you, Jacob, but I'm more for the goofy dog stuff.
Okay.
But I will say, could maybe call Eddie a bit of a twirl boy, because when he was cooking in that movie, he was spinning a lot.
That did happen.
So, what were your final thoughts, Jacob?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Like you said, it seemed like it was a movie above its pay scale, pay grade. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. It was punching above its, punching.
It was better than a DCOM movie.
We don't know words.
No, but it was a good movie. No complaints. I don't think there were any loose ends. Really?
No, I mean, in fact, I guess I could have left some loose ends if I didn't mention mean girl skater Pamela. That's her name. I figured it out. Tripping on the marbles.
I mentioned that. But they never have a closing thing. See, I thought maybe they were trying to set up her and Spencer, but maybe they weren't.
I mean,
there was never like a thing in the end, like they
I mean, Spencer was in the audience cheering, but
they didn't really so I mean,
they kissed. That's more than some of the romantic
but that was still like 10 minutes before the movie was even over.
It was a 10-minute long kiss.
Yeah.
It was egregious. Wow. That's why this movie was 90 minutes long, because of a 10-minute Spencer kiss.
Rated R. But,
rated R for a Spencer kiss.
Good film. Good movie. No complaints.
Well, if you want to tell us to go figure, go take a hike, you can write us at awholenewpod@gmail.com, like a certain Dustin did.
Duddy.
He sent us in an email, subject line, glossed over.
Oh.
Hello, hosts. In the recent Kim Possible episode, it appeared to me that no one recalled the fact that back when we were in high school, Sam had a text tone on his phone of the Kim Possible chime. Though he denied it and said it was the Go-Go Power Rangers tone, it was clearly the Kim Possible one. Just thought Lucas might have glossed over this during the episode. Yikes. Take care and see you soon.
Daddy.
So, Dustin, you are correct. This was something I glossed over. It was something I did mention while we were watching the movie.
You did,
but I was like, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing to explain, and I didn't want to ruffle Sam's feathers too much.
But now we can, because he's not here.
But the text tone shows up a lot in the movie. The do-do-do-do. Or Jacob did it a little bit ago, probably better than that. And it was something that I heard come from Sam's phone a lot.
I had it on mine even for a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a cell phone probably then.
Yeah.
I had a flip phone starting sophomore year of high school, and when I wanted to put new cool ringtones on it, I had to hold it close to a computer speaker
to record.
and
Yeah, I don't remember how I got it on mine, but I know I had it for
I think my ringtone then was Livin' La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin.
There we go.
But yeah, I did gloss over it. Some comments in the YouTube land about a bunch of hubbub and, I'm going to say it, bullshit.
Wow.
I don't give a shit what you got to say about me.
Oh.
You don't want the recaps to be too full of details.
He's getting visually upset. He's red in the face.
I'm always red in the face. I got fucking rosacea. Ain't nobody got time for that. I think we maybe grown more entertaining, even while we maybe have in-depth movie recaps. But I'll say one of my brothers was listening to the podcast. I'm sure he doesn't anymore. One of my brothers tried to listen to the podcast, and he was like, so you guys just like really like talk about these movies? And I'm like, yeah. So the impression I got was he thought it was boring. So I like it. I'm looking over the time right now. We're a little over an hour. I like to keep it hour long. That's good for most casual podcast listeners. We're trying to keep it tight up in this. I won't say tight up in this bitch, but I just did. This time is going long.
Yeah.
This is like a song. Yo, I'm like, rapping. I am Bobby Tarantino.
Oh, no.
So I don't even know what I'm saying, but Sam is never coming on the podcast.
Wow.
But Dustin signing off there saying, see you soon. Bit of a, what we call here, a little bit of a teaser, because Dustin has said that the next movie we'll watch, the Kyle Massey helmed starring picture of one Mr. Corey in the House, is Life is Rough.
Life is Rough.
So Dustin plans to be on that episode, so we'll see whether we get it out on time. Jacob had a little weekend getaway. I got some weekend getaways coming up. Ooh. So, well, maybe I'll have to find something out, or otherwise, see ya. See you later. We're on summer vacation right now.
Over. Pod done.
I got stuff going on. I had a week where I had 2 dentist appointments.
Oh, my.
It's exhausting.
Too much.
My dog be waking me up in the morning too much. I'm tired.
Come on, Mosley, figure it out.
No, if I give a little bit of behind-the-scenes stuff, by recording with Sam, we actually ended up recording. Jacob, unfortunately, has to work some weekends.
Yeah.
So recording with Sam, we record usually every other weekend.
Yes.
Jacob works weekends every other weekend.
Yes.
So when we recorded with Sam, it threw us off of our normal schedule, so that it wasn't really easy yet for us to reset it, except if we recorded 2 times in a row, which we weren't able to because Jacob went away for the 4th of July. Yeah. So then we're just like, fuck it. Let's just skip another week. But now I've got stuff coming up, so we might need to record 2 episodes
skip a month. Let's go.
But, of course, the last episode, I briefly, probably nobody even caught it, I made like one comment where I'm like, well, maybe we will like reset our schedule and get an episode out online. Obviously, the lie detector test showed that was a lie. And who knows, again, when we might get an episode out. But hopefully, this sated your appetite. I think this was a fun movie and a fun episode.
Fun movie, fun episode. Fun
Let us know your own thoughts by finding us on Apple Podcasts, rating and reviewing us, subscribing to us on there, following us on that Spotify.
Get that YouTube subscriptions up, those likes up.
Get up in those comments. Don't say I have Virgo energy, whatever the fuck that means. Y'all crazy.
He's a Taurus.
We both Tauruses.
Taurus, son.
We
Taurus
cows.
gang?
I out of curiosity, I looked up. I'm like, what is a Virgo? I'm like, nah, that's not me. What is a Taurus? Nah, that also ain't me. Because astrology is fucking dumb, okay?
Oh, now he's just hurting feelings.
You know what else is dumb? Cryptocurrency.
Oof.
Also, patriotism. Okay, so find us on Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. You know it. You love it. You better be liking it.
Love to see
I don't know what's happening to
he's
me
really
right
high
now.
He's striking some juice.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. I don't really want to talk. I do want to talk about.
That's all, folks.
Well, related to that, kind of want to talk about, but don't, because then I got to edit it. But Space Jam 2, that's what we really should review this episode.
Oh,
fucking travesty. Gotta say,
hurtful.
Not even quite good, bad. It is a movie. It's so cynically made. It's just like The movie implies the villain of it is Don Cheadle, who plays a character named Algorithm. So he is a personified algorithm.
Yeah.
And he exists within Warner Brothers serververse, and he is creating, it is implied, movies based on algorithmic learning. Which is like potentially interesting to be like, algorithms are kind of bad in some unforeseen ways, but the movie definitely doesn't go there. The idea is that they were going to just put LeBron James algorithmically into like a bunch of movies people like. They show him flying on a fucking broomstick in Harry Potter. I don't want to watch LeBron.
They showed Harry Potter?
Yeah, it's like, well, maybe algorithmic LeBron is better than actual real life LeBron because he's a terrible actor. I don't know if Michael Jordan, I haven't seen the original Space Jam in a while. Not saying I'm a huge fan of the movie. I think it's pretty like mediocre at best, but
Jesus
I think Michael Jordan is just inherently more naturally charismatic than LeBron. Probably a little bit of a better actor, but Space Jam: A New Legacy, almost 2 fucking hours long. You want to guess how long into the movie before one of the Looney Tunes shows up?
50 minutes.
Okay, well, it's not that extreme.
30 minutes.
20. Yeah, it's almost 30 minutes. It was 27 minutes is when Bugs Bunny first shows up. We see a little bit of cartoon LeBron before that, but I'm not counting that as a canon Looney Tune. It's, I don't know. There's so much happening on screen and stuff. It's just like, I don't even fucking care. This is giving me a headache. It's like a Kingdom Hearts game. They're like flying within the serververse of like different worlds. And you want to know some of these great Warner Brother properties that they're featuring instead of just making a fucking Looney Tunes Space Jam movie. Oh, look, it's kids love Casablanca world. How about, the Wizard of Oz world?
Oh, I like that.
They show Harry Potter, kids like that. Oh, how about the Matrix world? Yes, the late 90s rated R movie. We've already talked about, in the last episode even, about the Droogs from the fucking Clockwork Orange. They are front row at this fucking basketball game. Also, Pennywise the Clown from It. Kids love Pennywise the Clown.
Terrifying.
It's just, Warner Brothers, they want to do some dumb Ready Player One fucking pop culture IP vomit shit in this movie. And you know what? Some of the most recognizable characters? It's the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
So when it comes to being like, how are we going to fill up this audience after we've gotten the like Hanna-Barbera shit out of the way?
Yeah.
I don't even really see Scooby-Doo. You see the Mystery Incorporated van, but that's it. Iron Giant's sitting there making people cry because he fucking fist pumps King Kong at one point. Yeah, there's the Droogs, but then there's like just a bunch of Batman characters. Pretty sure there's 2 different versions of the Penguin. There was 2 different versions of the Joker. Yeah. So it's like, you don't even got that deep of a roster to make this kids movie. They already like win a lot of the same shit as Space Jam. Just do that.
Yeah.
But then they ignore stuff from Space Jam. Like, it seems like none of the Looney Tunes remember how to play basketball. And they beat the Monstars. The Monstars show up. But it's so cynically done because in this world, everybody else is CG. But the Monstars show up in their little alien forms. But they're 2D. So it looks like they were just hastily thrown into the movie to get like a nostalgia bump out of people.
Okay, I also was going to ask, like, they reference the other movie?
They do.
The events of the movie?
And they try to be like cute, being like, wow, we're kind of doing this again. But it's like, yeah, you are doing it again in like the most uncreative way. You're not having any weird moments like Bill Murray just being Bill Murray.
Was he in it?
No. One of the actually funny parts of the original Space Jam is just Bill Murray showing up at the end of the movie being like, yeah, I know the producer. He hooked me up. It's like a fourth wall breaking thing. You don't got Wayne Knight. And also, this movie is very much about LeBron's kid. And it's like, this isn't his actual child. That's not his real wife. You want me to get invested when I'm like, I know this isn't his actual family. This is so weird. And he's such a bad actor. So, all right, I did the whole, I'm not going to say it, but I did say it, but
30-minute rant on,
it's not Go Figure. I'll tell you that. Watch Go Figure before you watch LeBron, King James's Space Jam: A New Legacy. They say King James a lot in this movie.
Tough scene.
So
I still want to see it though.
I think that maybe that's the fade out for the episode. That's it right there.
What if the Pope blasted cigs, huh? What if the Pope blasted cigs, huh? What if he liked to get a little geeked off tobacco, huh? What if the Pope liked to blast cigs, huh? What about if the Pope liked to blast cigs, huh? What if the Pope blasted cigs? What if the Pope blasted cigs, huh? Yeah, it would be pretty fucking crazy if you ask me. If the Pope wanted to blast cigs sometimes, get a little geeked off tobacco, you know? Oh, head rush, you know? From all that tobacco. From all that tobacco, getting geeked off the cigs, you know? Blasting cigs. But he's a Pope. That would be pretty fucking crazy. If the Pope blasted cigs, that would be really nuts. If the Pope blasted cigs, if the Pope get geeks off tobacco, huh? Whoa, yeah! Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love the Sig Pope. Oh, Sig Pope. Sig Pope. Sig Pope. Sig